Hey guys, I'm back. Oh man, that was crazy. Um, so sorry if I abruptly ended the last one. The power went out for my laptop, so I ran out of juice. So let's try to finish this before I go to bed. So, okay. Alright. I'm just gonna give you guys a heads up. I'm probably gonna get so many characters. I'm gonna make this quicker because. Okay. Alright. Alright, can you guys see okay? Yeah. So we left off of this guy. This guy right here who we decided to put an E. If you know, you know. Okay, and if I remember correctly, um, Coma ends up going in like B tier. Wait, he's not even like that. I think B tier is very fitting for him. Like, I love every moment. I love most moments he was in. It was hilarious, but I don't think he's like Eerie Me level of memorable. I'm sorry. He's still an enjoyable character to watch, but or see, but you know, it is how it is. And Donoto Porta, I think his name was, Amon's adopted ghoul father. I really liked him. He was like a cool concept, a cool execution, or kind of a cool but like, except he was kind of like. Have you guys? Do you guys remember like Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal and stuff? Yeah. He's like Hannibal in that sense. I think that was a direct reference because I swear Sweet should have really loved his horror movie reference. Proved by the Red Dragon poster. Manga readers know. But yeah, he really gave me the impression of Hannibal Lecter. And yeah, that was an interesting idea. And I liked his role of like giving these hints, even though there were times when you questioned, how does he know this? I, how does he know this? Like, he shouldn't really know a lot of this stuff. Like, the taxi driver, like, in Re. How does he know who the frick the ghoul they were looking for was when the whole time he was trapped in that prison for actual years? Who's giving him this intel? Someone sneaking in and giving him the intel? So he's like, oh yeah, it'd be fun to like. It never made sense to me. It'd be fun to like mess around with it like this. Give them information, you know, for shits and giggles. You know? Okay. Like I loved Amon's like closure with Donapota, whatever his name is. I don't know, it's Russian. But like that's on Amon. Like that's Amon's development, less of Pota. So I'm just gonna Donato is going in D because he's not even on the level of Arima in regards to memorability for me personally. And he's not terrible like this dude is, you know? But you know, I'm pretty sure it's common. Okay. Eto, oh man, she's like so freaking cool, guys. Like, okay, she's going straight up in SS. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if she's my top 5. I could like put it up, but she is going straight in SS just how well done she is. She literally belongs in SS. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's biased, but come on. She's a naturally born half breed, like the first of her kind in the series, or at least her known kind. Like, there could be. I've had canons of some sort. She's working. But yeah, let's check out how that works. Oh boy, Furita. Furita, I'm just gonna put him in B for right now until we find. Furita is like the main contributor to what's happening. And he's not even doing this against anything personal against anyone. Maybe Rize, but not anyone. Like, Kaneki isn't even a personal threat to him. He's annoyed by Kaneki because of what Kaneki represents and what he means with connecting with Rize and stuff like that. Yeah, I think Furuta is actually a pretty interesting character, especially I'm not gonna lie, any moment he was in is very entertaining, very interesting. And the moment when he's revealed to have one eye of one Kagogan, I was hooked. Like, he already hooked me with, like, how brutal he can get. Such as when he's considered a bastard child, I have to put him in S. I'm sorry, guys. But he's just so brutal, and yet he's so nonchalant and cheery about it. It's his aura. Then you find out more about him, and you start to actually get more invested in him. It hasn't even been like you've never even known him until like Re, and yet he leaves his impact on you, especially on me. Like both in the anime and manga, I enjoyed his presence. Also, the hilarious moments of when he's like acting like a whip, and he's like, I don't want to die. He's like, oh good. He's like, oh wait, and he's straight up. Does anyone remember that moment where like Eto was like straight up about to kill him? Cause like he like, cause he like straight up like fed her editor to her, and she liked that guy, so it was like kind of low-key personal, like not too personal, but low-key personal. She was more mad about him about other aspects and such, and it's like what can you really do? Like, yeah, like such and such, yeah. So yeah, but then oh wait a minute, I'm goaded, and just like straight up like sliced her entire kaiju form. I'm just going to call it kaiju. I know it's not what it's called. But screw it. She was giant. She was a giant beast, like giant ass monster. I'm calling her a kaiju form. Like it was just more than a kagucha. It was a full on kaiju. Come on, guys. Like, and he freaking sliced it with like that Kagune he had. Like surprisingly, that one-eyed Kagugan. That reveal was so freaking cool. He locked in and was like, "Oh wait a minute, I'm OP," and just straight up attacked and just like straight up brought her to the brink of death. My my headcanon is that Eto's still alive. I want Eto to be alive. Like I don't care what anyone says, she's alive. Straight in E, like destroyed this one ghoul. A ghoul that was literally doing nothing for the majority threat anymore. He was like more of a grudge kind of purpose we have for you when you don't even like being alive. Like just because someone's like enjoying life doesn't mean you just take that from them, like and say like, oh, it's justified because she's on death's door. Like fuck you, bro. And I was like, oh, but what about the moment in Re when he sacrificed himself for his subordinate? Like really, you're gonna think that's enough? Like I like his subordinate. Maybe she's gonna rank higher, and that's saying something because she literally has like what, like 5 words throughout like 5 moments where she actually freaking talks. But yeah, she's gonna be hired. I'm just gonna let you guys know right away. He's going in E. Okay, you should be grateful there's no F, or else I put him lower. Okay, upset, but I mean, only person I felt bad for was like what was his name? As a result of her was him. Because I'm pretty sure he low-key simped for her hard. But, it's only him I feel bad for. What she did was, bitch. Ignorant bitch gets her head blown off. But whatever. I mean, can you... I still didn't like her, guys. Come on. Like, she doesn't deserve C tier. She seems fitting, okay? We saw what she admired Arima. That's it. That's literally all there is to it. Okay, we have this guy. I'm not going to say names right now. Except man's only traits is following enthusiasm, and he looks like edgy, and may he rest in peace. Oh my god. Straight away. This man, okay, he's the friend we all need. He's the hope within this series. He's just the sunshine. He just has a good outlook on life. He's a good character. He's funny. I love him, guys. Like, do I need to explain him? He's like my favorite character. Number one. Okay, number one. He's my number one favorite. Alright? Like, do we move here? So, Eto's not my second favorite, guys, just to let you know my thoughts. Hinami's not terrible, guys. Ogiri actually frustrated the hell out of me. We're on that. Like, when you actually look into why she did what she did, it just makes sense. Alright, guys, enough. Just ignore that. Just ignore that. Sorry about that. My brother got in. I don't know. No. Okay. I promise. A promise is a promise. I do like her more. We didn't. So sad. Let's see. Best friend human character of Shu Tsukiyama. Just exactly what I need to bring balance into his ghouly life, honestly. He brings Chie for his harshest times. In fact, I think, like, I want to give her B. But I feel like it's so unfair because Arima's in C and I'm just gonna give B to her? Really? And okay, screw it. I like her more. I'm sorry, guys. She took pictures. She was really good at sneaking pictures. At least, like, I can't picture any other character that did that and could replace her in that regard. She took pictures of Heise. She knew which steps to take to help him. There's literally no one else. Even Kanai had the need. We'll get to Kanai later. Well, Kanai couldn't do it, and Chie was well capable of doing it. There was literally no one else to do what she did. And honestly, I think that's why Chie deserves B. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry this list makes you upset, but it's my list. If she ranks above B, if she's B or higher, I can go homo for her. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think she's worth it. Not enough development. Pretty cool execution. Finally, a Chinese character that isn't a complete villain. Ta-ta-da. Her heels as weapons was so freaking cool too. Okay. Oh, you're putting all these people above Arima. It's like, yeah, because I'm sorry, Arima's not that. If you guys saw my last stream, you understand why I put Arima in C. Okay. Itachiko? I don't know. Toka and Kaneki's daughter. I'm just happy those two had a daughter. She gives you an impression right away, but she's not as developed. It'd be scandalous if I put her in C, meanwhile I put lesser, like, impactful characters in B. I'm sorry. She has potential. I'm not disputing that. I love that, okay? I love her character, but, like, in my tier. Alright. I'm sorry. I love her to absolute death. I mean, not absolute death. There's other people who rank higher. Hinami ranks higher than her. At least with her smell has always been advanced. And those two aspects are just kind of cool to me. I know he's like, oh, but it doesn't really matter. I like that she honed in on those skills that she already had, because schools actually do range and skill. Like, third wheel kind of attitude. She's the third friend, the female in the group of, like, the trio with Yamo and Uta. Oh man, if I forgot Uta's name, you guys would have been, like, wrangling me in the comments, honestly, if any of you were here. But yes, she's cool. I really love her. Guys, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll rearrange this later, but right now I'm gonna settle with this. Suri Ichida mentioned was, oh, she has a mole on, like, her features like that. It's not really questionable or wrong. It's just kind of a trait she has. Who's this guy again? Okay, he's better than D. This guy had like a few good impressions. I'll put him in D. I can find a better placeholder. And honestly, maybe B is actually the best choice for him. He's not Hinami or Akira or Itori levels. Itori's a goddess, guys. Come on. But he has his moments where he actually has moments of like with life outside of other characters besides that. He's got a son, he's got a family, he's got a good ranking job, he got all this type of status, but then he has like regrets and personal grievances he has that he just doesn't share too much because, well, for the season you can't really show weakness with that. And when you a man is sacrificed, a man's life is sacrificed, you just kind of you just kind of have to block it out and say it was for the greater good. But then he ends Uriye, I believe. Uriye, guys. I'm sorry, guys. It's Uriye. Then Kaneki wouldn't get the development within the world of Tokyo Ghoul. So maybe D would be more forgiving because of his impact. But overall, he's such a shitty character. Like, even when you find out about his tragic backstory, it's like, it's not really justified in his psychotic behavior. Like, bro just chucks up. He's like, you know why I'm like this? And then I'm just like, they're like, who the fuck cares why you're like this? So many other people. And you're a genuine sadist, my guy. Enough said. And weirdly enough, I'm gonna rank another similar, with the themes of when you know. I'm not gonna say, and that's all I'm gonna say, but reasoning why he's down here so low. Okay. He did what he did is why he's low down here compared to another similar character. It was sickening to see it in the manga. Like the anime did not make it easy, but holy crap, the manga, man, he just taped Kaneki's ear shut. Like that was not okay, man. That was not okay, and that was not a part of your original torture. Okay, of a character, and that she didn't get enough love, and using the word she because that's how she wishes to identify. Because of the wishes of her family, she was forcing herself to live a life she didn't want. Okay? I don't want you to be saying, oh, you're dead naming, oh, you're like, I really don't see, like, you're dead naming, you're doing the wrong pronouns. Like, yeah, you would be right, except Karen's not trans. She kind of forced herself to live this, like, supposedly trans life because she wanted to satisfy the wish of her father. She did it for the sake of father, and she never felt comfortable with the identity of male. She was just going with a wish, and she was just so much shame because she was a woman, and she was feeling womanly things, and she felt more like a woman. There was this one scene I really thought Karen just looked so beautiful in. I wish they freaking animated it. They never did, and I resent what was it, like Studio Clown or something? Studio Clown, indeed. Where she like dresses in the female like servant's uniform. Yeah, she dresses in the female servant's uniform. Yeah, she dresses in like, sorry about that. My brother was in there and I had to mute. And okay. So I was so upset when I was watching the anime and they didn't show that. I mean, like they showed Eto torturing her, but they didn't freaking show her being feminine and wearing female clothes, saying, "Oh, I look so bony." Like maybe she was admiring it because she didn't look happy about it. She looked kind of pleased with seeing herself in feminine attire. Like, and you see Sui Ichida's other image of her, which was like more colored, more saturated, and I liked it. Whereas like she was in a different outfit. I don't think was her servant outfit. It was just like lipstick on the ground. And she looked so feminine and so natural and beautiful, and I thought it was really nice. But that's besides the point. I like Karen first off because she's German, and in a manga setting that takes place in Japan, diversity that's considered diverse, and I find that interesting. And a lot of the time, mixed race like people don't fit in as well, and I think that could add to the commentary of like ghouls, considering the whole themes of being outsided or being different or just like having this thing you can't control from birth. Like Karen is honestly one of my like favorite characters. Like I don't know if she's top 5. Like she should theoretically be up there somewhere. If I recall correctly. Like Karen, I would put her in SS, but that's so considerate. That's overly considerate. Like she leaves an impact on me, but like in a different way compared to someone like Eto or Hide. She's more of this one I wish I saw more of, and I feel so hurt that she didn't even get the amount of love that Hide somehow managed to get. And I love Hide; he's my absolute favorite character, and yet somehow, like she just died, and it was painful reading that and watching it. And I was so pissed off that we didn't get to see more of her development on that, and her living a normal life and living. I'm just going to disclose this now. I've written fanfics where I've actually given her a more happy, ideal ending because I was so unhappy for the injustice like that was given to her. But it made sense as to why it happened the way it did. But at the same time, I feel so hurt, because she was the last surviving Roswald, and that didn't even work out in her favor. She died in vain, and it just hurts. I mean, like she survived at least, but it hurts. She's very poetic, and I can already tell the type of person or character she is. I can tell she's artistic. Suicha mentioned she liked gardening, and shoemaking, and she's very fashionable, and she's very fluent in German and Japanese, and I think that's kind of cool. Like she has these habits that interest me. Like maybe she liked me because like Shu was introduced her to it, which is good, I suppose. But I would like it to imagine like she started doing it because she was into this like flower geography stuff, but then she started like going into her own origins and figured, hey, it's part of my heritage. Like my name is Roswald, apparent meaning like forest. Maybe I can make something out of that for myself. Like Shu could have gotten her on the right track. My headcanon would be that she got like invested on her own accord, which I hope is true because Karen really needs to have been her own person. I genuinely wanted to hug her, moments I wanted to talk to her, ask her what made her tick. But of course, we don't get good things like that. Alright, now to the absolute legend himself. Kaneki. Kaneki would just an S rank, but that just feels like a major injustice on his character alone. Because personally, like, he's like, I'm gonna say it, guys. He's like my 4th favorite character I'm sorry to everyone that ever liked this, who liked him as their favorite character. But I have 3 more that I just like. I feel more invested in comparison because of the relatability. Like, I had a relatively healthy relationship with my parents, aside from a few other things we're not going to get into. And I was constantly surrounded by people that loved me and hurt me at the same time, but, like, Kaneki is a whole other level. He was more, like, neglected and and more of and more of a hurt soul, really. But yeah. For that, we're gonna put him in SS because of the development he's went through. We stuck with his path, and honestly, I do feel invested in his story. So that level of degree is understandable. But he is like below. He is below. So yeah. All right, let's move on. Is everyone doing okay so far? So things start getting good. Okay, we start getting to the characters a lot of people either really love or have forgotten about. Okay. Kano to me is a very interesting specimen. Like psychologically speaking. Like I wish I could go into depth of how if in scene of a character he is. But except I'm gonna eventually make a video based around him. So, like, maybe one day, like, it's a idea what I have of him. I'm just not spoiling it. But let's just say, like, he's the one that kind of resembles Yamori, but the difference is that he doesn't really take pleasure in doing the things he's doing, except for like if it means succeeding in like progressing mankind. Like that's his whole gimmick here. And breaking the birdcage. Everyone knows him for like being obsessed with this imaginary or theoretical birdcage. And like there's so much potential for this character and people seem to have forgotten him as a character. He has a big role too, like a massive role no one else could have replaced. Like he turned Kaneki into what he is now. He turned Takizawa into what he is. He's turned Amon into what he is now. He's turned so many characters, and he was the foundation of the Queens. He like because of his artificial ghoul making, like the idea of okay, can we just like make humans with ghoul abilities and make them stay human? And they experimented with that because of his innovative thinking. I mean, it was destructive too. People did die. He killed a lot of people, guys. But like it's more interesting because he seems more indifferent to it. He doesn't really take pleasure in hurting anyone. He doesn't really seem to take pleasure or relish in him destroying people's lives. Like he's excited because he's only excited at times where it's like he's progressing with his own personal research. He's never really like taking keenly to like doing things for a sadistic reason or because just for the shits and giggles or for like who just cuz like or just like to watch the world burn, which is technically true. But he wants to break the birdcage, which was like the Washu's way of thinking, which was their lies. Like ghouls are to him are like more superior. They're like more able-bodied. They're more adaptable, and he wanted to work with that. And he's like, okay, ghouls are great, but could we make them better if we were to make them mingle them with humans? That was his big question was could we make humans better through the means of ghouls somehow? And I'm just paraphrasing, but essentially that's it. Because of how important it is he and how interesting I think he is as a character throughout, despite what little appearances he makes. I just have to put him in A. Like, he's even above Hinami to me. Freaking above Hinami. And Hinami's great. That's saying something. I'm sorry. He's just, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Akira stays up here, though. She's queen. She's a queen. She stays up here. But yeah, I would go deeper, except there's still a lot of characters to run through, so maybe I could do a quick speed through. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining enough, but Kimi, let's see. Smart, considerate, open-minded, and yet kind of hypocritical, low-key. She's going in C. No, not in B. C. Fuck it. She deserves better than that. B. This guy straight in E. Fuck you. Okay. Dead twin sister. I have a young twin sister who would definitely go ape shit like she. Understandable, but honestly, I wish Shido was here. I'm pretty sure she's not here anymore. I don't think she's in this tier list because she. Oh no, she's in here. Okay, you're going in D, huh? Actually, your sister's going in B. You're staying in C. Actually, yeah, there we go. More of an interesting character. I'm just rearranging this just real quick. There we go. Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah, seems right. Love this guy. Wish he had more moments, but actually, he had moments where he shined. He's going in A, guys. He's going in A. He's going straight in A. Even you might say, oh, but he didn't really do much. I like him. Shut up. I'm putting him in A. Do I really need to explain myself here? Not that interesting to me. Not that interesting to me. Sorry, guys. Not that interesting. If it helps, he's above. He's above this guy. He's above him, okay? It feels insulting, but, if you understand it, which you should, but, Okay, it's not him being a total simp for Uri that bothers me. It's him being hypocritical, him being pretty nonchalant about the actions he's doing, and only chooses to make a redemption arc because why? Man, great dad right here. Thinks this man, how many B's up here? Screw it, you're going in B. I'm sorry, Como. Mizu, I think her name was Mizuzu. Mizu. Yeah, Mizu. I liked her too. She had more screen time. I really did like her. I like her small stature and how, yeah, they made fun of her for it, but like, she's just kind of living her own life. I like that about her, like just general stuff. I think C is pretty fitting for her. Yes, I like her above Bond. Shut up. Bitch/dick of the century. Personally, I had Canon Toru to be non-binary, maybe even gender fluid, but just for the sake of this, we're just going to call him because he seemed to be comfortable with that title. I didn't like how they were like portraying him as like kind of like only being trans because of his trauma and stuff like that. Like only trans people are trans because of trauma, which does happen, don't get me wrong, and it's completely valid, but like with so many little representation, especially in a comic like a manga like Toru Ghoul, you would expect more of depth with that. But I mean, Toru had his moments. So he doesn't deserve E. But he sure as hell deserves D. Only because he gets better. Naki, my man. How did he do it? How does he how did he get with Mizu? How did he do it? How'd he do it? How'd you do it, man? How'd you become my favorite so quickly in Re? How? But not my biggest favorite, but like how'd you become a good classic? I swear he might be number 7, like for favorite characters. Okay, is this thing still going on? Alright. Stereotype much? Okay, you're not that bad. Stereotype much? Really? I mean, you were useful and helpful in some regard. But come on, Nico. Why do you gotta be a walking stereotype? I feel insulted just looking at you. You know what? You would think that Shu was the walking stereotype, but no. It's this motherfucker right here. And that kind of hurt because, again, you don't get a lot of queer representation, especially in a manga like Tokyo Ghoul. So it kind of hurt. But I'm not too butthurt about it. I still love the manga to absolute death. But I wish they kind of presented him a little better. Let me tell you. Smash place. Let me tell you. When this motherfucker, for the first 2 episodes came on, I wanted him to die. But then by episode 4, I wanted him to live, damn it. Damn it, Suicha. He's going in A, guys. He kind of has to go A. He has to go in A, guys. And this fucker was so detrimental. This is crazy, actually. Higher than Hinami. Higher than her. Like, I'm sorry, that's how it is. Okay. All I can describe him as mouth and old as fuck. And Eto's adoptive father, I guess. I'm sorry. You're going and see. But you are better than me too. So that's great. I don't appreciate crushing a man's nuts. Your presence hurt. Your presence hurts. I mean, I get you wore on the streets and you just wanted to feel pretty. That's tragic. I'm sorry about that. I wish I could put you higher, but I can't. Not after you just like human trafficked people and stuff. That's kind of messed up. This motherfucker's the reason why everything's going to shit. You're going straight in E. Straight in E. Also, he is implied to perform incest and potential sexual abuse on his children. I don't know if they was abused or not, or if he was going to abuse her, but it was definitely in the cards somewhere. like, there's implication that she was bred, quote unquote, which means he could have assaulted her. We don't know. We never give that detail. All we know, either they meant like bred as in like, oh, you're specially made like this, or was she bred like she was bred, if you know what I mean. Speaking of Rize, Rize. She's such an impact of the series, and yet I feel like she doesn't really leave too much of an impression. Yet it feels dishonest and hurtful to put her in A, because just of how much she's actually affected Kaneki in his life. Also, she's a bad bitch, okay? She's a bad bitch. She's got cool ass regenerative powers. She was a naturally born Kaguya. She escaped her confinement, with the help of Furuta. Sorry about that. Again, my brother. Okay. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's speed run this a little bit, just a little bit. Bitch. I like the fact that she's 50 something despite looking like a 20-year-old. You're going in D, bitch. You're above Yanamori. You're above this guy, though. Hope that helps. Also, you're above this bitch, too. Also above this prick and this. Yeah, there we go. That seems fitting. Psycho! My top 5. She's gotta be number 3 for me. I think she's number 3. No, wait. She's like number 2, actually. She's number 2. So, best girl. Best girl is Psycho. Fight me on that. Also, her abilities are actually kind of OP. She's strong. Actually, it's like, oh, all you're saying is strong. It's like, is that all you can define, or can you go more detail? I'm like, I'd rather not. I'm just kind of tired right now. I'm sorry. Also, this is for like manga and anime people, so if they know she's strong because they've read it, because it's mentioned she's strong over and over again, then you understand she's hella strong, and they explain how. I'm not going to explain it, but apparently she trained her abilities using her abilities like for daily trivial stuff, but like over time it built up, and like she managed to master that. Fucker. I don't like him. I don't like him. But I like him more than him. I find him more interesting than this fucker. And at least he didn't crush any balls. Then again, there was implied castration to be said. Oh man, this guy right here. Putting him any lower than A would be insulting. So he goes above Murder. He goes above Hinami. He goes above Hinami. Yes, I'm putting him in A. Shut up. My man. I'm not putting him in D. Don't call me tits, guys. But he doesn't really deserve. Fuck it, he deserves A ranking. I was about to say he just doesn't deserve A ranking. Just saying that felt blasphemous. So. Yeah, this feels right. Fight me. There, happy. Actually, that moment where he quit was just hilarious. I like this guy. He's that one guy we kind of need as a friend, honestly. The middleman. The collected one. And yet, stable, strong, impressionable. somehow best boy. Somehow best boy despite being emotionally distant. If it helps, he's right here. And he deserves better than A. He's going in double S, guys. Just, okay, what I'm about to say is kind of controversial, but whatever. I liked before he was a ghoul. Okay, I said it. I liked him as a human. Okay, he was too relatable. He's relatable, quotable, and just overall a good character in my book. Just his overall development throughout, and I mean throughout the series, has left such an impression on me. Psycho is second, and he's third place of. So, but the reason why he's over here on the ranking is when considering the storyboard in here. Like, Psycho is my second favorite, but he leaves more of an impression on, like, the story itself. Psycho, I just kind of feel emotionally attached to. Like, strongly. Same kind of goes for Sato, but, it is what it is. And I just feel bad because of how things ended for him, and it's just unfair. I really need to do a video on this guy, because just the injustice and the hurt he's been through and the torture he's experienced with this motherfucker right here. Oh, and where's Tatara? There's Tatara, this motherfucker. We'll get to him soon. But overall, like, the injustice and the audacity people say, like, oh, you only liked him until he turned into a ghoul. I'm just like, what are you talking about? I've always liked this guy. What are you talking about? I've always liked this guy. And I mean that as the truth. I'm not saying that to be one of those quirky people that, like, no, really, promise, this and that. I genuinely liked him, okay? I can't, it's like, he's just too real. He was too real of a character. He was too real of a person to me. And it doesn't make sense to why I liked him since then. I would go more in depth, but it's getting so late and I need to, like, hurry this up. Okay. Ta-da! You're going and see. You're going and see. Actually, you deserve better than there. There we go. Actually, you deserve B ranking. What was I thinking? There. Waste of breath. Waste of breath. Where do waste of breaths go? He's kind of pathetic, too. He's, like, lower than Nico, even. How the fuck do you get lower than a walking stereotype? You're the stereotype of a stalker, pathetic little man. Toka, I wish I can go in depth as to how great her character she is and how impactful she is on the story. But the best I can really do is put her in S above Amon. I'm sorry, Amon, but Toka hits it different for me. She hits something else, am I right, fellas? Who's this guy? Who's this guy again? He's not terrible. He's not D level. So I'm more content with him C. Just because I barely know him compared to someone like Shido. Shu deserves A rank. Shu is super important, guys. Actually, he deserves S rank. He's fabulous. He's actually better than, like, yeah, I went there. And yes, Karen is still better than him. I'm sorry. I like Karen more. Ironic, isn't it? Ugh, this guy. He's got some development, but I overall still don't like him as a character just because of how butthurt about everything he seems to be. Okay. This guy goes through major character changes and I live for it. To put him in anything lower than A would be insulting. Yep. Below Shinohara, because Shinohara is better than these two. Okay, I'm saying it. Uta. Sorry to all the Uta fangirls. He's not going in E, nor is he going in C or B. He's hot, okay, but that's pretty much all you can really go off with him. He's somewhat semi-interesting, except his past with Yomo is semi-interesting, but you don't really know too much about him. Like, why is he a Kaguya? Why is he like eating human flesh? Why does he think the way he does? You would think a character as interesting as Uta, or should be theoretically interesting as Uta, would be like more developed than that. Like Sui seems to put so much love into Uta, and yet you don't get enough of Uta. It's like he's a bit too much of a mystery, which is good because like sometimes you don't need to know everything about a character. But at the same time, it made me want to know more about him. Really, Yomo is significantly better, just barely. Why the hell is Uta only in that? He's above. Okay, he's above these two. Okay, that's fair. Okay, we just got like 4 more, so let's try to get through this. Because I got some Duolingo to be working on here. Ah, yes, Toka's best friend. I like her too much, and I like how accepting she becomes of Toka. Like, oh, she's made herself sick for the sake of me, all for the sake of me, and like just this regret of like I should have known more because she must have been feeling so sick and hurt, and like she did it all with a smile. I like that. She goes in here. I like her as a character. Shut up. Let me have Yoriko up there, okay? She deserves to be up there. Also, she's a baker. I love that. I love bakers. I love cooks in general. Yoshimura is the GOAT. If I put him in any less than SS, it would be insulting, really. Like, weirdly enough, he's not even a favorite character of mine, yet he deserves to be in SS. Like, I acknowledge him being in SS. He deserves to be in SS, guys. Like, come on. It's Yoshimura. It's Yoshimura. This fucker. This fucker let so many people die. And it's ungrateful. It's ungraceful, really. Yeah, you know him as a war veteran of sorts, and yet he's super loyal. You can tell this relationships that he's hurt because of his lies, like with Marude and with his son. This guy here. But he's better than his son, actually. He deserves D rank, but he's like better than Toru, actually. Which is a funny thing to say. Who's this guy? Oh yeah, he's like Ari's cousin or something. His relatives of sorts. See, last place because I barely know anything about him, but he's better than this guy. Really better than Shiro. Actually, no, Shiro deserves more love than that. So that is it. Let's see who we got. You can pause and look who's made the ranking. B is rather hefty here. A is pretty hefty. I would put like Kano in S, except I feel like I'd be an injustice to these other characters here, because he just doesn't level up to the same amount as these other characters. Like, he's detrimental, but he's not that detrimental. I still really love him as a villain. He's gotta be like my favorite villain in this. Or like, he's not even considered a villain. I mean, might as well be a villain, but you know what I mean. It's complicated. But yeah, he's a very complicated character. But other than that, yeah. And it feels kind of hurt to put Coma in here because of the nostalgia I feel when watching first 2 seasons of Tokyo Ghoul. But it's just kind of how it is, because now thinking back, he's not really too much of an impact. I still love him watching and reading the manga and the show and all that stuff. But, time marches forward. I wish I put Um, yeah, oh yeah, her name was Ichika up higher, but again, she doesn't really have development. We literally see her in like one scene. And Toka pregnant with her is like the entire like premise too. Like Toka was pregnant with her the whole dragon arc, I think it was called. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it, guys. So if you enjoyed that live stream, let me know, and maybe I can do a future one in the future. But other than that, have a good one. Bye. Bye. Hopefully I find a better mask after this point. Thanks, guys.